During a vice raid, my childhood friend, a beautiful police officer, caught me red-handed. She coldly stared at the sexy mass cowering in the corner. Wrapped in a bath towel, I trembled. Sister Qinghan, let me explain. I lay on a massage table at the bathhouse. Warm water streamed over the soles of my feet. It felt so good, I nearly moaned. Brotherly, her technique is good, right? Ito Makoto, on the table beside mine, winked at me. I specifically booked mass number 8 for you. Her hands are first-rate. Number 8 is not only skilled, she has an incredible figure too. I nodded with my eyes half closed. She really is good. I have been working brutal overtime lately. My shoulders barely feel like mine. Who told you to push yourself so hard? It was only an ad campaign. Did you really need to pull 3 all-nighters? Ito Makoto mimicked someone's voice. Li Chuan, if you keep neglecting your health, then next time, I will. Before he could finish, the private room door was kicked open with a bang. Police, hands on your heads. Nobody move. I jolted in fright, nearly rolling off the table. 5 or 6 officers rushed in. A female officer led them. Beneath her police cap was a face I knew better than any other. Gu Qinghan. Time seemed to freeze. My upper body was bare, with only a towel around my waist. Gu Qinghan stood fully equipped, police badge in hand, looking sharp and commanding. Our eyes met. Shock flashed in her eyes. Then she regained her professional calm. But I knew her too well. The faint twitch at the corner of her eye gave away her embarrassment. Sis, this is a legitimate massage. Ito Makoto scrambled up, shouting. It was all brotherly. Brotherly made me come with him. Ito Makoto's sudden betrayal nearly made me cough up blood. But what terrified me more was the increasingly icy look in Gu Qinghan's eyes. A legitimate massage, she sneered. Her sharp gaze swept every corner of the room. Then why book a VIP room? And why a mixed-gender massage? Only then did I notice that, at some point, number 8 had quietly backed into the corner, white as a sheet. Gu Qinghan's gaze kept shifting between the mass and me. Number 8 wore a uniform that accentuated her curvy figure. The male officers behind Gu Qinghan had already begun inspecting the room. One lifted a hidden compartment beneath the massage table. Captain Gu, suspicious item found. My heart sank. Gu Qinghan strode over and took a small bottle from the compartment. Her face turned livid. Li Chuan, she said, her voice carrying a disappointment I'd never heard before. Explain what this is. I looked closely and nearly passed out. It was clearly a bottle of glycerin enema solution. It is not mine. I waved my hands frantically. My towel nearly slipped off, and I quickly grabbed it. I swear, I only came for a massage. Show me your ID. She spoke in an official tone, deliberately avoiding my eyes. Sis, do you really need to check our IDs? Ito Makoto asked in disbelief. Shut up. Gu Qinghan shot her brother a fierce glare. Then she turned to me. Li Chuan, you. I fumbled for my ID, and my towel nearly slipped again. Officer, we really provide legitimate services. The mass panicked and hurriedly explained. It would have been better if she had stayed silent. The moment she spoke, Gu Qinghan glared at me fiercely, her face livid. Gu Qinghan quickly checked our IDs. After confirming everything was in order, she nodded stiffly. She signaled for the mass to leave first. You two, get dressed. Come to the station with us for statements. I nodded mechanically and started pulling on my clothes. As the fabric brushed my skin, I realized my back was soaked in cold sweat. Ito Makoto kept babbling explanations beside me, but no one paid him any attention. Gu Qinghan turned to the officers behind her. Xiao Wang, take the team and keep searching this room. Collect every suspicious item. Xiao Ji, retrieve the surveillance footage. She paused, lowering her voice. Especially all footage after they entered the place. Sister Qinghan, I swear, I really only came for a massage. After pulling on my pants, I gathered my courage, approached her, and whispered. Xiao Cheng said he had been exhausted lately and felt stiff. How many times must I tell you? At work, address me as Officer Gu. She cut me off. Her voice was not loud, but enough for everyone in the room to hear. Whatever you have to say, say it at the station. Yes, Officer Gu. In the police station's interview room, Ito Makoto and I were like two abandoned puppies. We had been sitting there for nearly 2 hours. No one came to take our statements. They had not even offered us water. Brother Li, do you think my sister is doing this on purpose? Ito Makoto spun a pen in boredom, leaving us sitting here. Does that count as indirect punishment? I stared blankly at the slogan on the wall. Confess and be treated leniently. Resist and be punished severely. I ignored him. When we first arrived at the station, Gu Qinghan handed us over to a young officer, then disappeared. That officer received a call and hurried off as well. He only said, "Wait here." Hey, Say something. Ito Makoto nudged me with his elbow. You have looked like you lost your soul ever since earlier. I am going to the restroom. I stood, wanting to escape that suffocating room for a while. Officers hurried through the corridor. As I turned the corner, I suddenly heard a familiar voice. Gu Qinghan stood at the break room entrance, speaking with a tall male officer. I instinctively hid behind the wall. Hu Wei, help me organize the report for tonight's raid. Gu Qinghan's voice was much gentler than usual. I still have people to deal with. Your childhood friend again? The officer called. Hu Wei gave a soft laugh. Whenever it involves him, you always care so much. My heart dropped. They were that close? Gu Qinghan had never mentioned Hu Wei to me. What nonsense are you talking about? Gu Qinghan's voice carried that familiar, teasing reproach. He is only a younger neighbor I grew up with. Pressed against the wall, I found it hard to breathe. I had always heard Gu Qinghan like someone, and had liked him for many years. She had never told me about him. Wait, why did the name Hu Wei sound so familiar? I suddenly remembered. Once, at her home, her mother had mentioned that Gu Qinghan often talked about a colleague at the station named Hu. So it was him. I cautiously peeked out. Hu Wei was smiling as he handed Gu Qinghan a cup of coffee. He was tall, at least 6'1", with handsome features. Fine lines creased the corners of his eyes when he smiled. He was clearly the bright, sunny type. As Gu Qinghan took the coffee, their fingers brushed by accident. She quickly pulled her hand back, but I still caught it at the corner of her lips. A fleeting smile. A bitter ache suddenly rose in my chest. I silently stepped back into the corridor, no longer feeling like using the restroom. Back in the interview room, Ito Makoto was playing a mobile game. What took you so long? I thought you fell into the toilet. I ignored him and dropped heavily into my chair. My mind kept replaying the image of Gu Qinghan and Hu Wei standing together. They looked so perfect for each other. Both were officers, like-minded and close in age. Hey, what is wrong with you? Ito Makoto finally noticed something was off. Why do you look so awful? Nothing. I rubbed my temples. I am just tired. Ito Makoto gave me a suspicious look, but did not press further. The room fell silent again. Only the sounds of his game broke the silence now and then. My thoughts drifted back to childhood. When I first met Gu Qinghan, I was 6, and she was 8. My family had just moved in next door to hers. She wore a white dress, with her hair in a high ponytail. She stood in the yard like a little princess. I hid behind my mother, stealing glances at her, but she confidently walked over and handed me a piece of candy. My name is Gu Qinghan. From now on, I am your big sister. That was what she said. Her tone was far too mature for a child. From that day on, she truly looked out for me like an older sister. In elementary school, older kids bullied me. Without a word, she rushed over to confront them. In middle school, I failed math. She tutored me every day after school. At my high school graduation party, I drank too much. She carried me home on her back. I was used to her standing in front of me, used to calling her Sister Qinghan, used to thinking of her first whenever something happened, until the year she graduated high school. When I saw her taking graduation photos in the distance, smiling so brilliantly in the sunlight, my heart skipped a beat. That was when I understood that my feelings for her had long since become more than reliance on an older sister. The day she left town for college far away, the whole world lost its flavor, like a cream cake with no sweetness. From then on, I could only wait for her to return each holiday, just to see her again. Ito Makoto's voice pulled me back to reality. Brother Li, my sister texted us to wait a little longer. She will take us home after work. Oh. I replied numbly. Today was absolutely the worst day of my life. My crush led a vice raid and caught me at a bathhouse. Come to think of it, Ito Makoto suddenly lowered his voice. Have you noticed? My sister keeps mentioning Hu Wei lately. My heart clenched. You know too. Of course. My mom talks about it every day. Ito Makoto curled his lip. She says Qinghan has finally come to her senses, that the guy is a good match, and so on. It is so annoying. I feign calm. Are they dating? Who knows? Ito Makoto shrugged. My sister keeps her secrets tight. But he leaned closer mysteriously. Last Sunday, I passed a coffee shop and saw them chatting and laughing together. Last Sunday, I had asked Gu Qinghan to the movies that day. She said she had to work late. That bitter ache surged through my chest again. I nodded mechanically, pretending to be deeply interested in the police emblem on the wall. There were fewer and fewer people at the station. Ito Makoto had fallen asleep with his head on the table, letting out soft snores. I stared at the clock. The minute hand crawled forward notch by notch. Each movement felt like a knock against my heart. Footsteps sounded in the corridor. I immediately sat up straight. The door opened, but it was not Gu Qinghan. It was Hu Wei. Sorry to keep you waiting. He walked in with a smile, holding two bottles of water. Qinghan asked me to check on you. Qinghan. He said her name so intimately. I forced a smile. Thank you. We are fine. Hu Wei handed me a bottle of water. His gaze lingered on my face for a few seconds. You are Li Chuan, right? I often hear Qinghan mention you. Is that so? I twisted open the cap, trying to make my voice sound natural. What does she say about me? She says you have been a troublemaker since childhood. He said it with a smile, but his eyes were kind. But she cares about you a lot. The word cares pierced my heart like a thorn. An older sister caring about her little brother is only natural, is it not? Officer Hu. I gathered my courage and asked, are you close with Sister Qinghan? We get along well enough. We join the force together. He checked his watch. She should be finishing up soon. I will go hurry her along. After Hu Wei left, Ito Makoto suddenly raised his head. Pretending to sleep is exhausting. I jumped. When did you wake up? I never slept. He stretched. So that is Hu Wei. He is pretty handsome. He looks like Wu Yanzu. No wonder my sister. Shut up. I snapped under my breath, though I could not deny it. 20 more minutes passed. Gu Qinghan finally appeared. She had changed out of her uniform, wearing a simple white shirt and jeans. Her hair was loosely tied behind her head. She looked tired, yet still radiated that unmistakable strength. Let's go. She stood in the doorway, her tone flat. I will take you home. Ito Makoto sprang up at once. Sis, I am starving. Let us get something to eat first. Gu Qinghan glanced at me, as if asking for my opinion. I avoided her gaze and nodded. What do you want to eat? She asked. Anything, I said softly. Then, the usual place. She turned toward the corridor. Ito Makoto, and I followed behind her. As we passed an office, I saw Hu Wei sorting through files. Gu Qinghan stopped. Hu Wei, want to come along? My heart sank to rock bottom. Hu Wei shook his head. No, I still have a report to write. He nodded at me. See you next time, Li Chuan. There had better not be a next time. I forced a twitch of my lips in reply. We stepped out of the police station. The night breeze brushed my cheeks. Gu Qinghan's car was parked ahead. Ito Makoto eagerly climbed into the backseat. Get in, Gu Qinghan said as she opened the driver's door. I stood there without moving. Sister Qinghan, that officer who... She turned around. Her eyes shone especially bright beneath the moonlight. Nothing. I shook my head. I opened the car door. Let's go. I am hungry. The usual place was the barbecue restaurant we had eaten at since childhood. It had been open for more than 30 years. The owner was a middle-aged woman by then. The place was small, but cheap and delicious. It was packed every time we came. The owner seated us outside the entrance. Ito Makoto expertly ordered all 3 of our favorites. On some strange impulse, I ordered the sheep testicles. When the sheep testicles arrived at the table, the siblings stared at me in disbelief. Xiaocheng spoke first. Brother Li, why did you suddenly order that? How do you even eat that? Feigning calm, I picked up a piece with my chopsticks, stuffed it into my mouth, and said while chewing with my mouth, this old place lives up to its name. Hardly any gammy taste. Why do you suddenly need something to boost your virility? There was something off in Gu Qinghan's gaze. Gu Qinghan suddenly grabbed a broom beside her and pointed it at me. Did you go to that kind of place? Your mother said you do not even have a girlfriend. That display completely stunned me. Great. There was no explaining this. I raised both hands, stood, and backed away to steps. Do not do anything rash, Sister Qinghan. Listen, I can explain. I just wanted to try the taste. Gu Qinghan said nothing. She kept staring me down with icy eyes. Dragging the broom, she slowly took 2 steps closer. I suddenly remembered the terror of being at her mercy. My legs carried me backward again and again. Gu Qinghan trailed behind with the broom, calmly advancing after me, like a Valkyria from myth. Just then, a group of tourists passed by. Someone suddenly said, this really is a big city. Even the cleaners have such presence. I could not hold back and laughed. When Gu Qinghan heard the passerby's words, her face instantly turned bright red. She looked down at the broom in her hand, then glared up at me. Her eyes held embarrassment, anger, and that familiar murderous look. What are you laughing at? She hissed, but the corner of her mouth twitched to spite herself. I quickly covered my mouth, but a muffled chuckle still escaped. Sis, Brother Li, stop messing around. Ito Makoto called helplessly from the barbecue stand. If you do not eat, the skewers will get cold. Gu Qinghan took a deep breath. She leaned the broom by the curb. Li Chuan, get over here. I cautiously edged back, then sat across from her. She picked up a skewer of grilled chives and viciously bit into it, as though the chives were my neck. After all that fuss, the atmosphere remained tense. For a while, none of us knew what to say, so we just kept our heads down and ate. Then a woman at the next table suddenly spoke up. My ex and I have been broken up for ages. Yesterday, he suddenly messaged me, asking to get a hotel room. I refused. And then he said, we both have needs anyway. Why not meet up and have some fun? She took a huge swig from her beer bottle and continued. I do not know how I could have been blind enough to fall for him. So I told him straight, I would rather fool around with the dog than with you. I turned and looked at the woman. To my surprise, our eyes met. She even gave a flirtatious wink. Startled, I hurriedly called the owner over to pack up and pay. As we left, Gu Qinghan's lips still twitched now and then. She was obviously trying not to laugh. I secretly studied her profile. There were faint shadows beneath her eyes. She must have been exhausted lately too. Sister Qinghan, I gathered my courage and asked, "Is Officer Hu your boyfriend?" The car suddenly screeched to a stop by the roadside. Gu Qinghan turned to me in disbelief. "Who told you that?" "No one," I stammered. "It just seemed like you two were close." Li Chuan. She took a deep breath. "Are you an idiot?" Her question left me utterly baffled. Huh? Hu Wei has a girlfriend. They are practically getting married. She shook her head helplessly. I looked up sharply and met her clear gaze. For some reason, my heart suddenly raced. "Oh." I heard myself answer flatly. "That is good, then." Ito Makoto suddenly burst out from the backseat, laughing. "Ha ha ha, brotherly. You are jealous." My face instantly burned. "What nonsense are you talking about? I was just asking." Gu Qinghan started the car again, but I noticed the slight lift of her lips. "Li Chuan, how old are you this year?" 25, I answered, completely confused. A grown man of 25. She spoke softly, still as foolish as when you were a child. Back at our apartment complex, I had barely opened the door to get out when Gu Qinghan, stone-faced, made up some excuse and sent Xiaocheng home first. As Xiaocheng left, he gave me a look that said, "Good luck with that." There was a knowing glint in his expression. Gu Qinghan suddenly stepped close. She grabbed my wrist. "Come with me." Her voice allowed no refusal. She pulled me through several narrow alleys, finally stopping in an empty little park. Her eyes were startlingly bright under the moonlight. "Li Chuan." She took a deep breath. "Are you really that horny right now?" Huh? That blunt question completely floored me. My foot slipped, and I nearly fell flat on my face. Gu Qinghan suddenly grabbed the hood of my sweatshirt, straightening me like a kitten held by the scruff. The tips of her ears were red enough to bleed in the moonlight. "It is just..." She suddenly began to stammer. She pulled out her phone, swiped twice, and held it before me. The screen showed a trending short video topic. How much can sheep testicles boost a man's virility? The real reason men eat sheep testicles. The most ridiculous part was the related topic below. Watch out if your partner suddenly starts taking supplements, and you deliberately went to get a massage wearing such. Revealing clothes at that bathhouse. She nervously clenched the hem of her clothes. That bathhouse looked completely shady. "You are not allowed to go there again." Just as she was about to continue, her phone suddenly began playing aloud. She frantically locked the screen. The air fell silent. We both froze. It looked as if cartoon steam from sheer embarrassment might billow from her head. Sister Qinghan, I think those two people over there are kissing. Maybe we should move farther away." "Oh, it just seems so." Blushing, she nodded. "Then, do you want to kiss?" Is that okay?" Maybe it was because, during our late-night meal, I had drunk 2 bottles of beer. The words had not even passed through my brain before they slipped out. "Then, how about we kiss once?" I scratched my head shyly. "This is not appropriate, is it?" "Not appropriate." Gu Qinghan clasped her hands behind her back, tracing small circles on the ground with her toe. The night breeze slipped through the space between us, carrying the distinctive warmth of a summer night. I watched her faintly trembling lashes, and suddenly understood. Gu Qinghan. For the first time, I called her by her full name. "Do you like me?" Her expression instantly froze, as if someone had hit pause. What are you talking about?" I do. I like you." "So what? Is that not allowed?" She abruptly stepped back, though her ears were red as blood. Under the moonlight, Gu Qinghan lifted her face defiantly. My heart nearly burst from my chest. All I could hear was my blood pounding in my ears. "You can. Of course you can." My voice was barely audible. "Because I do too." Before I could finish, she suddenly lunged forward, grabbed my collar, and pulled me down. The next second, soft warmth pressed against my lips. The kiss was unpracticed and clumsy, yet filled with her characteristic stubbornness. I could feel her trembling faintly, but she stubbornly refused to release my collar. "Close your eyes, idiot." She gave the order indistinctly. I obediently closed my eyes. Carefully, I wrapped my arms around her waist. Her body stiffened for a moment, then relaxed. The hand clutching my collar slowly let go, and moved to wrap around my neck. I do not know how long the kiss lasted. I only remember that we were both breathless when we parted, our foreheads touching. "Li Chuan." Her voice was a little hoarse. She looked at me tenderly. "Do you know how long I have waited to hear those words? You were always following behind me, calling me Sister Qinghan over and over. It drove me crazy. You kept reminding me that I was your sister." I looked into her tear-bright eyes, and suddenly realized how oblivious I had been. All the things I thought were merely a sister caring for her little brother. The snacks she deliberately deterred to bring me whenever she came home. The times she happened to pass my office after working late were all her careful, guarded affection. "I am sorry. I thought you only saw me as a little brother." I gently wiped away the tears that had somehow gathered at her eyes. "I was too foolish to confess to you. I only dared to love you in secret." "Idiot." She gently pinched my waist. "What sister watches her little brother every single day? Hu Wei is only a coworker." She rolled her eyes. "I deliberately brought you up in front of him, because I wanted to see whether you would get jealous. Only then did I understand. So today, At the police station. Yes, I was deliberately giving you the cold shoulder. She smiled smugly. That is what you get for getting a massage at that kind of place. That number 8 had a great figure. A chill ran down my back. I did not notice. HMPH. She gave a cold laugh. Then she forcefully pinched my cheek. Li Chuan, you are finished. The next second, she kissed me again. This time, it felt like punishment. She did not let go until my legs turned too weak to hold me up. That is your punishment, she declared, blushing. You are not allowed to look at other women anymore. Yes, Officer Bunny. I stood at attention and saluted. She burst into laughter. She was breathtakingly beautiful in the moonlight. I could not help leaning in again. This time, I was the one who kissed her first, until an ill-timed voice shattered the quiet. Only then did we reluctantly pull apart. Well, Ito Makoto emerged from behind the bushes. I was not trying to spy on you. It is just that, sis. Mom asked whether you are coming home for dinner tomorrow. Gu Qinghan sprang out of my arms. Flushed with anger, she snapped, Ito Makoto, you followed us? I swear I did not. Ito Makoto raised both hands. I was just passing by. I just happened to find you two acting out a romance drama beneath a street lamp. Ito Makoto looked at me, then at his sister. Suddenly, he wore the satisfied expression of a proud father. Brother Li, I should call you my brother-in-law from now on. Ito Makoto. Gu Qinghan raised a hand as if to hit him. Ito Makoto quickly hid behind me. Brother-in-law, save me. I spread my arms to block Gu Qinghan. Officer Bunny. Violent law enforcement is wrong. Ito Makoto waved his phone. What you just did. If that scene were played at your wedding, the guest would die from sweetness. My own sister's romance is just too adorable. The smug look on his face was beyond irritating. You two. Gu Qinghan stamped her foot in frustration, but suddenly laughed. Forget it. Let us go home. She turned and walked away. Ito Makoto and I hurried after her. When we reached a street lamp, she suddenly turned back and held out her hand to me. What? I did not understand at first. Should a boyfriend not hold his girlfriend's hand? She said it as if it were obvious, though her ears were crimson. I quickly took her hand, lacing our fingers together. Ito Makoto covered his eyes beside us. Oh, come on, my poor, innocent eyes. Shut up. Gu Qinghan said fiercely. Yet she secretly squeezed my hand. On the third day after we made things official, I was staring blankly at my computer screen in the office when my phone suddenly vibrated. A message popped up. Are you free tonight? I want to have dinner with you. You're Officer Bunny. I could not help grinning foolishly. I quickly replied, at your service, officer. Since we made things official at the park that night, Gu Qinghan had seemed like a different person. At work, she was still a decisive, no-nonsense cop. But around me, she began showing a side I had never seen. She could act sweet, get shy, and send outrageously adorable stickers. Director Li, you look awfully happy. Are you in love? My co-worker Xiao Liu passed my desk with coffee, eager for gossip. I quickly wiped the smile from my face, coughed twice with fake seriousness, and focused on work. My phone buzzed again. This time, it was a photo of Gu Qinghan wearing her police uniform and taking a mirror selfie. The caption read, working hard to catch bad guys today, too. See you tonight. She rarely sent me selfies like this, let alone one in uniform. I stared at it for a full minute before noticing, in one corner, a conspicuous pink folder on her desk. It was labeled wedding planning. I nearly fell out of my chair. We had only dated for 3 days, and she was already planning our wedding. After work, I rushed straight to our date spot. Gu Qinghan suddenly appeared before me, looking grave, with a document envelope in hand. Li Chuan, she said in a businesslike tone. There is a case that requires your assistance. I stared at her, dumbfounded, with no idea what was happening. What case? Gu Qinghan walked over expressionlessly and handed me the envelope. You are suspected of illegally breaking into someone's heart. The evidence is conclusive. Come with me. She could not keep up the cool act for 3 seconds. Gu Qinghan cracked, doubling over with laughter. Your expression was priceless. Officer Bunny, that is an abuse of power. I protested with feigned seriousness, but could not help laughing too. She suddenly leaned closer and whispered, then, are you going to arrest me? Her warm breath brushed my ear, sending a shiver through me. After dinner, she led me into her car and handed me a blindfold. She told me cover my eyes with it. So, where exactly are we going? I asked curiously. She blinked mysteriously. On a date, of course. I took a half day off. It is that secretive? Be good. She pinched my cheek. I obediently put on the blindfold and felt the car merge into traffic. About 20 minutes later, the car stopped. You can take it off now, she said. I removed the blindfold, blinking as my eyes adjusted to the light. Then I froze. We were outside a bridal shop. This is, I stammered. Gu Qinghan had already gotten out and walked around to my side. She opened my door. Come with me while I try on wedding dresses. Try on wedding dresses. My voice shot up an octave. We have only dated for 3 days. She tilted her head at me, mischief gleaming in her eyes. What is it? Mr. Li, You do not want to marry me. It is not that I do not want to. I frantically unfastened my seatbelt. It is just, this is too fast, is it not? Too fast? She counted on her fingers. We have known each other for 19 years. You have loved me for at least 8. I have loved you for around 10, I guess. By that count, we have already wasted too much time. I stared at her, speechless. I never expected her to have calculated it so clearly. Besides, she suddenly lowered her voice, her expression softening. I know you secretly bought a ring. My face instantly burned. How did you know? Occupational habit. She smiled smugly. So since we both want to get married, why wait? I looked into her shining eyes and realized she had me completely wrapped around her finger. This girl I had respected and feared since childhood was looking at me with such hopeful eyes. How could I refuse? I did not know whether to laugh or cry. Officer Bunny, are you forcing me into marriage? She nodded shamelessly. You are going to marry me sooner or later. Would it not be better to settle it sooner? Seeing the hope in her eyes, I sighed. I took a small box from my pocket. This was originally a gift I planned to give her on our first anniversary. I had wanted a more formal occasion. I opened the box. Inside was a delicate ring, but it seemed I could not wait that long. Gu Qinghan's eyes widened instantly. Her lips trembled. This. She carefully accepted the ring and examined it beneath the light. Our initials were engraved inside the band. Her voice caught, and she suddenly threw herself into my arms. I held her tightly, feeling her warmth in my arms. In that moment, I understood what it meant to be destined for each other. Li Chuan, she whispered in my ear. Let us get married. Next month. Smiling, I kissed the top of her head. Okay. Whatever you say, Officer Bunny. The wedding came sooner than I imagined. When Gu Qinghan wore the dress she had tried on 3 times before choosing and walked toward me, I felt as though the whole world had stopped. Sun streamed through the church's stained glass windows, scattering rainbow-colored light across her, as if heaven itself were crowning my bride. At the reception, Gu Qinghan changed into a white kippao. A pearl hairpin I gave her adorned her elegant updo. She linked her arm with mine as we toasted each table, a sweet smile never leaving her face. Sis, you look like you have been bewitched today. Makoto came over with his glass raised. Brother Li, no. Brother-in-law, how did you tame my tiger of a sister into a little kitten? Gu Qinghan shot him a murderous glare. Makoto, are you asking for a beating? Would not dare? Makoto hurriedly hid behind Huwei. Brother Hu, save me. Huwei raised his glass with a smile. Wishing you a lifetime of happiness. Qinghan is famous at the station for her temper. Li Chuan, good luck to you from now on. Huwei, Gu Qinghan raised her hand as if to strike him. I immediately pulled her close by the waist. It is okay. I kissed her puffed up cheek. I happen to love my hot-tempered bunny. The guest erupted in cheers and teasing. Blushing, Gu Qinghan buried her face against my shoulder, drawing more laughter. Before long, it was late at night. I am exhausted. She kicked off her heels as soon as she entered. Barefoot, she stepped onto the carpet. Getting married is more exhausting than catching criminals. I wrapped my arms around her waist from behind, resting my chin on her shoulder. Wife? Should we start using the proper title now? She clearly stiffened at the word wife. The tips of her ears turned red. Who is your wife? Legally, you already are. Smiling, I turned her around and gently undid the updo she had worn all day. Her silky long hair fell loose, carrying a faint rose scent. She looked up at me, her eyes bright as though filled with starlight. Li Chuan, have I ever told you? She raised a hand to caress my face. You look especially handsome today. I lowered my head and kissed her, swallowing that belated compliment. The sweetness of lipstick still lingered on her lips. I could not help deepening the kiss, until she went soft in my arms. What followed came naturally. It was the first time for both Gu Qinghan and me. We carefully explored together, and it was over in less than 3 minutes. Leaning against the bed, she asked with concern, should I go to the hospital with you tomorrow? Why would I go to the hospital? This is perfectly normal, okay? I will be fine in a moment. My face burning, I stubbornly argued. Either you can do it, or you cannot. What is this? I will be fine in a moment. She tugged at the blanket and muttered quietly. Last night's action was more intense than I imagined. Apart from the first time, every round after that improved. Gu Qinghan lay in my arms, her lips still curved in satisfied contentment. I gently brushed aside the loose strands over her forehead. She wrinkled her nose and unconsciously snuggled deeper into my arms. My phone suddenly buzzed. It was a message from Makoto. Brother-in-law, how did things go last night? My sister did not kick you out of bed, did she? Before I could reply, Gu Qinghan opened her eyes in my arms. Still groggy, she reached for the phone and glanced at it. She woke instantly. That brat, Makoto. Fuming, she typed a reply. I took the chance to peek at the screen. Ask one more question, and I will set you up on a blind date tomorrow. Annie Lee's 330-pound daughter would be perfect for you. I laughed until my chest hurt. Gu Qinghan tossed the phone aside, then turned and pinched my cheek. What are you laughing at? This is all your fault. What did I do? I blinked innocently. You You too. She gestured incoherently, ganging up to make me mad. Smiling, I pulled her close. Wife, on our first day as newlyweds, should we do something more meaningful? As it turned out, she never seemed to tire. I was the one left completely worn out. Gu Qinghan went wild for me, while I was left clinging to the walls for support. One evening, 2 months later, we walked home after dinner. In the night, she linked her arm through mine, resting her head on my shoulder. Li Chuan, she suddenly said. I applied for a transfer. What? I stopped walking. Why? She lifted her face. Her eyes gleamed in the moonlight. The criminal investigations unit is too busy. I want more time to be with you. I am transferring to a neighborhood precinct, 9 to 5, with both weekends off. My heart ached as I cupped her face. You do not have to give up a job you love for me. It is not just for you, she said softly. It is for our future little bunny, too. I stood frozen for 3 full seconds before I understood. You mean? She nodded. She took my hand and placed it on her flat belly. I am 1 month pregnant. I swept her into my arms and spun her around in the empty street. Startled, she repeatedly slapped my shoulder. Put me down. Police, I am arresting you. Arrest me, then. I held her tightly. Lock me in your